Homily for the 6th Sunday of the year B. Of course, I want you to be healed. Our readings for this Sunday are from Leviticus chapter 13 verse 1 to 2 and 44 to 46. 1 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 31 to chapter 11 verse 1. And Mark's Gospel chapter 1 verse 40 to 45. In the first reading from the book of Leviticus, we learn about leprosy and the rules and protocols put in place by Moses for managing lepers. Those who had leprosy were seen as outcasts and had to live far away from the rest of the people. St. Paul teaches us in the second reading that we should be welcoming and accepting of all people, regardless of their tribe or creed, for this is the Christian way. And in the gospel passage, we see how Jesus, moved with compassion, healed the leprous person who came to him pleading. The miserable plight of lepers. Suffering in all its forms, including illness and disease, was not part of God's original plan for humanity. God created Adam and Eve and placed them in the garden of bliss. It was their sin and disobedience that brought suffering about. As a result of their sin, humanity became diseased. Men and women were now confronted with personal, moral, and natural evil, including sicknesses and diseases. In the Old Testament, leprosy was looked upon as one of the most graphic illustrations of fallen humanity. But the general belief at the time was that lepers were being punished by God for the sins of their forebears or their own personal sins. Moses set out elaborate protocols for identifying leprosy, for quarantining the lepers, and for readmitting healed lepers back into society. Strict adherence to these protocols ensured that the rest of society was protected from the deadly infection and contamination. Beyond the pain and suffering of the disease of leprosy itself, the lepers were often rejected and abandoned. The psychological wounds of such rejection and abandonment could have been far worse than the bodily pain and discomfort that the disease inflicted on them. A leper encounters Jesus. When the leper approached Jesus, he said, "If you want, you can make me clean." The leper believed that Jesus had the power to heal him, but he wondered if Jesus was willing and prepared to heal him. The Lord was moved with pity and acted with compassion. He did not see a rejected and despised leper. Rather, what he saw was a brother in pain. He saw a beloved child of God in a pitiable state. Jesus was overwhelmed with empathy, and this empathy is what translated into healing action. Unfortunately, in our present day, many people have become very desensitized to the pain and suffering of others. We are so consumed by our own craving for worldly power and success that we ignore the suffering of others. This desensitization is easily seen in people's reactions to death, tragedy, and violence. But in his encounter with the leper, Jesus demonstrates a high degree of empathy, which propelled him to respond very swiftly to the situation, breaking all ritual regulations, violating all social taboos, and reaching beyond the boundaries set by society. The touch of Jesus. When Jesus reached out and touched that leper, he was communicating not only healing but also love, acceptance, and warmth. By his gentle touch, Jesus demonstrated that though the man had contracted leprosy, he was human, and he deserved to be treated with utmost respect and dignity. For those who are ill, a gentle touch and an attentive look could be worth more than expensive medication. Human touch is a profound instrument of affirmation. which often convinces people that they are welcome, that they are accepted, and that they are loved. Such gestures of love and compassion are often the ingredients that make many medicines achieve the work of healing. Jesus wants to heal us and make us agents of healing. As in the case of the leper, in today's gospel, Jesus recognizes all the sufferings and tribulations we go through in life, from sickness and disease to marital issues and problems with children, and from poverty and unemployment to persecution and discrimination. Jesus recognizes all these challenges and he desires to heal us. He came to restore humanity to the original state of bliss that God intended. He calls us to join him in being agents of healing and restoration for the ailing men and women around us. As Jesus broke out of the boundaries set by society and he touched the leper to bring him healing, he challenges us to despise no one because of their sinfulness, because of their infirmities, or because of their lowly state in society. Instead, he challenges us to reach out to the weak and the despised people in our societies and show them the goodness of God. In the Old Testament, lepers were considered outcasts in society and treated as if their leprosy was the consequence of their sinful acts. However, leprosy, like all other illnesses and diseases, is a consequence of the fallen nature of humanity, which Jesus came to redeem. The leper encountered Jesus, and in a rare show of faith and courage, broke through the boundaries of ritual purity, and he approached Jesus for healing. The Lord had compassion for him and responded with a touch, with a few words of assurance and healing. Jesus desires to heal us too of our illnesses and diseases. He desires to heal us of our sins and iniquities. He desires to heal us of the socio-economic and political problems that plague our societies. He knows that we are struggling with many personal and social ailments. But he says that he has come so that we may have life and have it to the full. John chapter 10 verse 10. Finally, Jesus challenges us to go out there and minister his healing to our suffering brothers and sisters. God bless you.